Hello, my name's Pearce and I'm here at beautiful Denman to show you some floral art videos. Now I'm going to do a design for a table using floral foam. The foam has been previously soaked and attached to the container with some pot tape. So when we're looking at traditional designs, we have three types of foliage. We have our linear foliage, our large leaves and our filler foliage. And for my large leaves, I'm going to actually use some lovely hostas, which in fact were picked here in the garden at Denman, and aren't they beautiful, not a slug in sight. And also some aspidistras. Now proportionately, these are far too large for my design, so I'm going to cut them down slightly so that they are a little bit thinner than they are here. And we're going to use these to establish the length of our design. So again, cutting the stems at a nice sharp angle, placing it in just about an inch into the foam. You only need to push foliage and flowers into foam for as far as it takes to actually hold them in place. Any further in, and what would happen is that all your stems would then meet in the middle and the whole lot will just collapse. So it's important to just put them in just as far as you need, and always really, really clean-ended stems so that we don't get any of the foliage actually putting into the foam as well. This is leatherleaf, which is a commercially grown foliage, which I'm using then, and that's really to soften the line of this aspidistra. I'm just taking off some of the bottom foliage there, and you can see I'm just putting it in, and what we don't do is wiggle it about or take it out and push it back into the same hole again. If you have to take it out of the foam in order to get the length that you require, always put it back into a new hole. And then we're going to establish a focal area in the centre of our design with these lovely hostas. And I'm going to use 3 of them. And again, you can see I've cut them nice and short, and they're right up against the foam. Almost in a triangle on the top there. And I've got some lovely heuchera leaves, which are a really gorgeous colour, just to add a contrast to the green. And I'm just going to place some of those in between our central focal area. Just a little bit softer, although they are hardening up now. I'm placing that one lower down there. Now I'm going to fill in with some other foliages, and again a nice contrast here with some silver Senecio, or Brachyglochis as it used to be called, which is quite a mouthful, so I'm rather glad they call it Senecio now. And I'm going to just fill in, this is our filler foliage, and I'm just going to fill in so that basically we're covering most of the foam. Again, doing it on a diagonal rather than symmetrical. And then I've got some euonymus. Again, a lovely contrast to the foliages that we've already got in there. I'm just cutting that slightly longer. So you can see we're just filling in. And what the foliage does is provide a beautiful cushion for our flowers. And so I'm just filling in, again, a little bit more with the Senecio, the Choicea. So you can see what we've done is to actually establish the shape that we're going to have. And this is a lovely design for the centre of a dining table. And just something with a slightly larger leaf. This is the Alliums. And Alliums has a lovely silver back to it. So again, you've got the contrast. And with that contrast, why put it in the right way up? Just put it in upside down, and then you'll get that lovely silver effect on the leaves there. Then we've got some lovely scented rosemary. Not just for lamb, after all, but beautiful in designs. And I use rosemary a lot. It's a lovely, easy plant to use. And it also has a lot of meaning. Of course, the main meaning for rosemary is remembrance. And it's also got that lovely spikiness about it. So again, it adds another texture to our design. I'll just turn that round so I can just put a few bits in the back here. And then just to add some more interest to it, I've got some Phormium leaves, or the New Zealand flax. And I'm just going to trim the end slightly and roll it like that, and then staple, which gives us a very different shape and form to use. And I'll just cut that off at an angle again and tuck it into the centre here. And we don't waste this bit either, so just trim the end and pop that in as well. So you see how we get a very different effect with that. And that's us all greened up, which is the first part of our design. And of course, you could just leave it like that. Personally, I really love just foliage arrangements, which are really nice. And I've got here some seed heads from the muscari, you know, the blue grape hyacinth. Always interesting to grow. That's why I just leave everything in the garden to run to seed, and then use the seed heads in my arrangements as well. And these are quite fun to use. And again, adding another texture to the design. So there's our design all greened up. For our flowers, I've chosen the lovely contrasting colours of purple and orange with just a little bit of yellow put in there as well. A real zingy colour combination. And as we did with our foliage, we have our linear flowers, which are our lovely stalks. And they're going to come out of the side here, like that. And again, nice clean stems. So these have all been well conditioned, but they have actually been in water now for 24 hours and are really nice and turgid. So another one in there to make a really strong line. And this one I'd really like in 2 pieces, and you can just cut. So close your eyes if you don't like this bit, but you can just cut it off and it won't do it any harm, and this piece will grow just as well as if you hadn't done that. So that's our linear flowers in there. Then our contrasting flowers to that, I'm going to use the roses to run right the way through. So again, make sure everything is cut really well, and then just start threading the roses through the design. Establishing a little bit of height. We don't want it too high because it is a table arrangement. And again, I haven't done them in a straight line. You can see I've alternated them either side of the central line there. And I've only used 2/3 of a block of foam for this design. We didn't need the full block, and it also gives us a chance to have a bit of a reservoir in the dish. So that's our roses in place. So we're now going to use some lovely alliums, and those of you who've been to Denman will know that around the fountain in the middle of the garden they grow these beautiful flowers. And I promise you I've only picked a few, and I did get permission first, but aren't they gorgeous? What a beautiful, beautiful colour. And they are a real central focal flower which we will put in the centre. I'm just going to move that one slightly to put it in the middle. And then our final flower, which is also an allium, and this is called Allium Molly, which is a really pretty zingy, limey yellow. Very, very pretty. And I just thought that we just need to lift the purple a little bit more. So we're just going to place those in, again to go all the way across the design. And we'll take one to the side here. So you can see that we've mixed the flowers, and they're not randomly put in, they are very much organised so that they spread evenly across the design. Now, to look after this afterwards, Oasis foam or any of the floral foams that you might use actually need to be watered from the top. So it's really important you can put that on the draining board and pour a jug of water over the top. Oasis won't take up water from below, so you really do need to do it from the top. This can last for a good long week. And in fact, if you take the flowers out, the foliage will probably still last another couple of weeks. So it's well worth looking after it. So that's our table arrangement in floral foam, which I hope you will have a go at and enjoy.